Minions have spawned.
Language and subjective identity, it is how human beings organize their inner realms. But we're not taught there's an inner realms. They say body, mind, soul, and everybody thinks they only experience the body, and the mind and soul are not present in the moment. You know? Like we're like a multi-level species, but we're just like zoomed in on one level because they're telling us that with that it's only that level. Who says? You understand? It's like they're telling everybody don't think anything else is true other than what we say until we update what we say. And I'm like, who the F? You know, what the F is this? You know, it's some sort of like hidden fascism or something. I'm joking, but anyways, where I'm going with this is the original Earth is like that moment where a human being looks at this world and is like, all right, I've been looking at it as if it's true, but let me try to, count the simulations. Let me try to see if it's simulated or not. You look at the human biological body. First of all, you didn't simulate it. That means you didn't create your body. At some point, this conscious will agency that moves through you, the force, the life force that you are, identifying with the subjective symbol, like that happens later on in life. But I'm trying to say the original Earth. Okay, let's count the simulations. Your body is simulated. It's a certain time here. The words that I'm using, they're for this era. They're a certain time as well. Everything, like the world, the physical universe is entropic. Okay, so everything is simulated, which means has a beginning and then it ends. Okay, that means that it's simulated. There was an original moment. There's a simulation of, there's a simulation or within the original moment. And this simulation has nowhere else to go but to return to the unconditional as a conditional entity that fears the temporality of death, right? To me, I'm like, okay, like even the words I'm using were simulated before. I didn't create my body. I didn't create this world. I didn't create its rules. I just logged into this video game and I had a certain free will and character customization. Every day I wake up, I log back into this three-dimensional, or let's say fourth-dimensional, because we wear watches now. Like with this fourth dimensional game of being conscious of time. And when you really look at what is moving the human being, like imagine somebody holding a sword for so long that they think it's a part of their hand. And then somebody tells them, that's not your hand, that's a sword. And then you begin to realize it's the same kind of thing for human beings thinking they are language or believing they are their personalities. I'm not saying you can't believe, you shouldn't believe. I'm not talking, like you're restricting your reality to say like my reality. I'm telling you that as a 1 out of 8.1 billion human beings on this earth, I'm like, dude, enlightenment means original data. Okay, that means you're here, everything's temporary, but there's something here noticing that it's temporary. Okay, why is that here? And you realize the game is like there's this energy that through your human form can be directed for a certain time. Like they're like, what's a life? What's the meaning of life? How do you direct energy in time? And we navigate through characterhood. That means to me, language is how we adapted. Language is like how a biological organism found a technology to connect the fourth dimension with the third. The fourth dimension had to do with how the space of the third dimension, where the third dimension is not the third dimension. Just like how individuals on planets, they dream and they wake up from dreams, or some people say death is like waking up from a dream or something. You know, so similarly, I'm telling you right now, we are in a dream, but it's not like a dream we have at night. It's a daydream. It's a dreaming in the day. That means at night, if you have a dream, like if you've ever had a dream that like you experienced and it was real, like it became a permanent memory the moment you experienced it, right? It was real, like a real dream. In the dream state, like it was so real for you, like it was as real as you being like awake, you know? When you wake up, granted, there's no like, I don't know, DMT chemical or something in your brain or whatever, but it's like this life seems to me a dream based on how long my body is in it. Do you understand? To me, it's like a bunch of organisms in a room, but the room, let's call it a world room, as big as a world. 8.1 billion organisms are in a room.
Enemy double kill.
And they're like, what does it mean to be here? Majority of them are like, what it means is to be in this room. Life means where you are, you know? But there are those who are like, dude, let's go see where the edges of the room is. Now, this concept goes as far as like the edge of the room being the walls, but what is the edge of the world room? It's the unknown space. That's the edge of the world. That just legit, the unknown space is the edge. It's the edge of the conditional reality. Do you know what's the most mysterious thing on this planet is how forces are moving the phenomenology on it. Like we can't ignore the fact, like just look at how weird it is. Okay, that we have like out of all the species on Earth, one species has suddenly like awoken due to like advanced prefrontal cortex or something. We've suddenly snapped out of the slumber that all the species are in due to their, let's say, limited design, but limitless in their own way to themselves.
Shut down. Enemy double kill. An enemy has been slain. Rampage.
If this is the real world, how can we justify duality? It's a changing world. It doesn't have an edge. It's unknown. Everybody's trying to be the same as yesterday to feel better, like to feel the same as yesterday and also better. Like it's like the human is designed to, I think the greatest, let me say it this way, let me just simplify it. The most advanced human state, that means what's the most advanced job? All the people in the future will know this. The true archetype, just like how in like this anime Dragon Ball Z, they were a warrior species. Humanity is an explorer species. Do you know what that means? That means we're not designed to be satisfied in a world that is not updating as fast as us. You understand? But that the nature of that update is important because they're like, dude, like from one angle, if we go and give our lives to civilization, we're gonna like create this sort of like we're gonna contribute, create a I guess let's say potentially decent, technocracy. But I'm telling you guys, it's all about what you know how like okay, let's say this. Somebody goes to this therapist, imagine. This is purely hypothetical, imagine. Okay. Excuse me. Alright, let's simplify this. The simplicity of the moment.
Has been slain.
Honesty is the original path to the original. Honesty is the only path to the original Earth. Excuse me. Honesty is about like how you look at the world, and honestly, like yes, everything is present in the here and now. Yes, what Plato said about the world of forms, yes, it's all three-dimensional geometry and form and position in somewhere. But honesty being the only path means that we suffer the potentials that are denied to us. We do not suffer what we are. We suffer the better versions we know we can be. We suffer the greatness that our eyes have witnessed. This is why I enjoy one of these Greek philosophers, I don't know who said it, but he's like the man who's seen what he can become, there's no rest for him. That means there comes a moment in this world where you're like, yo, my biological simulation is here for some time. My psychological simulation is in certain states for a certain time. And what is the value of marching into an unknown world as the last stance of a temporary being, wondering what was the most advanced strategy? That means they're like, yo, in whatever afterlife I believe in, right? Like imagine I go into the afterlife, I'll be like, the consequent, the result is up to the will of the Creator, but I want to know what was the most advanced version I could have lived my whole life. Like, you know how they say, like when you're about to die, like your whole life passes like in your mind like a film. I'm like, I would like to see what the most advanced probability of all the probabilities I envisioned and walked through were. The nature of human intelligence is that nobody knew what to say, but somebody said something. That's the whole. That's the how it all started. Honesty means it's the great filter. Honesty means it is you're allowing, like, you know how you hold the door open for someone like as courtesy, as like kindness. Honesty means you choose not to be wrong or be right. It's not like duality is endless, don't play that game. Just for a second be like, okay, to be honest means just like I open the door and you know, let the moment go first, I should do the same with my whole moment. So if they're like, Mr.Within, do you have any practice? I'm like, pure honesty. That means, think of it this way. It doesn't matter religious or theistic or atheistic universe interpretation or theistic universe interpretation. It's all about you are something. That means no religious person can come and tell you, you know, God didn't create you or God created you in the wrong way. That is blasphemy. You don't understand, you're sinning. You know, in all religious practice, it's just like fingers pointing upward. All poets, everybody in human history, they're all pointing to what the secular think is the stars, but they're pointing to the heavens. That is the pure, unconditional context. If they're like Mr.Within, what is your metaphysics? Guys, like, I don't know if you're ready. Like, if they're like, what is your, like, if I share what I think is going on, I think we're in an infinite simulations are happening in one moment that can't be a simulation. You understand? That means the edge of, like, one edge of the world is the infinite simulation. The other edge of the world is an unconditional causal moment. That means a simulated meaning means you began and you end. An unconditional, and you're a conditional being, but an unconditional being means a being that has no applicable condition. it sets the condition. That means they're like, dude, what's cooler than being in the presence of aliens? I'd be like, for me personally, it's like future. I'm like, you don't understand. The future is like this. The greatest problems are not in 2026. So when I say original Earth, think of all the ways that 8.1 billion human agencies are in this place that we, for consensus and shared meaning purposes, right, we call Earth, right? But what is happening on Earth? We see like a video game, there's factions, you know? There's continents, there's countries, nations of provinces of towns. People are living everywhere in the world in some sort of ideological denomination that is assigned to a land that is just land beyond. That means what is more eternal is the meaningless geometrical existence and the great dance of all atoms and all particles here. You understand? That means we thought we were just living a life here, then why is the whole world changing? For me, they're like, what's your agenda? My agenda is I want whoever, any human being that is alive right now, forget all techniques, all methods. Just before, I'll say, don't forget, before approaching anything, before searching for truth and getting enlightenment, have an ability to be like, I am alive once. And honesty means I technically neutrally view the moment, and based on what is really happening in my experience, I live a life. The original Earth to me, you might not believe it, it is the future. It is the end of the future. We think that the beginning and the end are not the same moment, but all moments are present in our condition. They're like, does it matter if time is objectively experienced linearly, but subjectively experienced circularly? And could it be beyond the frames and shapes of this world? That means to me, I personally, I know this is like stuff like sci-fi level of what I write, but what it is that to me, they're like the reason I don't go to therapy is because I think it would start over therapy, so it'd be too much for him to, he's gonna be like, no thanks, you know? Do you know why? Because my true perception of this realm is it's not moving because humans want it to. It's moving as if the whole world has its own mind. And in the middle of this giant unknown process happening in an unknown place, we're like, dude, we're like a corner of a painting that can't see the rest of the painting and thinks it's the whole painting. It's the flaw. Species, seldom is said, but species are limited to their design. Every experiencer is limited to their, let's say, output. We are positions of being, we are an intelligence here. Honesty means when you originally, that means like, what do you say when there's nothing to say? The only thing that can be said. Dear viewers, Mr.Within is saying that there's 8.1 billion of you alive currently on Earth. In the last 300,000 years of human civilization, they consider there's been around 170 billion, let's say, humans towards civility and advancement. It's like if you're on the whole humanization agenda, like not agenda, but the whole humanization process, you know, it is a battle of its own. To me, the human beings that are alive are the most advanced species. They're wearing clothing, they're podcasting, like they're communicating. we have access to greater contextual understanding of the realm. It's as if like, you know, if we saw ourselves from the sky, we would be like this. It would human beings are like from within them. These invisible programs guide their behavior, guide their work, their ethic. It's kind of like you forget that you're not like. Let me tell you how you're an explorer. At some point, you realize the moment is what it is, and it doesn't need to be anything else. And